big Cream fans, perhaps enough of musing on times past, because we have to look at what's happening in the present. RNG fighting for playoffs. They can still just about make it, but there are no more errors available to them. There is no more forgiveness or leeway, and they're up against NIP, who, despite a very strong start to the split, have become a little bit more vulnerable as the split has gone on, and maybe, just maybe, RNG could look to pounce on a potentially more fragile upper-table team.
Yeah, the Ninjas in Pajamas, they've struggled, particularly on a team play sense, to allow their very strong mechanical players at points to really come online. You can see that NIP, I think that's quite an important Annie ban there, because Tenyuan struggled as a mid laner to the point where XEZ from the Royal Club LDL roster has now joined the main team, potentially sat there willing to be subbed in at some point. His Annie is his best champion, and is the one which he kind of stabilized on last year. Tenyuan at the end of last year was looking great. So removing some of his comfort and potentially focusing there against Rookie, of course, who has been probably the best mid laner alongside Knight. I think Rookie's been fantastic. That's a very dangerous moment for them. LWX, I'm pretty sure that Smolder is the only champion that RNG have won on in recent weeks. And they hadn't won since like week 4 or something. That's a dangerous thing to give over.
I remember commentating the game where he won with that back with you last week. And
well, he won another one too while we were on camera too. It didn't stop.
He hasn't stopped. And of course, LWX has been honestly not bad individually. It's been the synergies with Ming that have been really, really problematic. I would say LWX has been phenomenal. He's certainly not been at his absolute best, but even so, I think one of the bigger issues we've had generally has been the synergy in the bot lane more than anything else. And well, we'll now get the Shins out and the Karma alongside it, so we've already got that very dangerous nominally mid jungle to help get some shove and play around that bot and help shield it. On the other side, the Nautilus lock alongside the Ahri. Your pick is already very strong for NIP.
Tenyuan has a choice of 2 of the more meta answers into the Ahri. You don't have the Annie, but the Karma and the Nico are both very good into that champion too. Rookie was one of the big Ahri pickers last year. He was, at some points, magical on this champion. At other points, over-aggressive. He flip-flopped between being one of the very best in the world and then someone who would actually actively lose his team games when he was on top esports. Aki going back towards one of his best champions. This is very, very on the same page and towards some comfort for NIP. I do think that Jaw on the Nautilus has had some better and some worse games. I think in this game, if we're talking about LWX, highlighting, I think he has struggled as a player. But the bigger concern is definitely between him and other players too. NIP, similar story in regards to actually good players, but they have struggled to communicate in the same way and kind of get everyone comboing up together, particularly now that Rookie is on a playmaker. That has been the glue for NIP. Having this Ahri, Vi, Nautilus combo, very, very strong.
Very straightforward, very simple in some ways, and also very easy to combo up with each other. Vi's engage range, Ahri's engage range, very easy to join someone who maybe makes a snap engage that you weren't expecting. Make that one work out from there. Of course, now the bans begin to fly for this second phase. RNG getting rid of some of the potential answers for Photic into the Smolder. The Kai'Sa goes down. That means 4 AD carry bans in a row for RNG, trying to make Photic's pool next to non-existent. It'll be the Braum that's the additional ban alongside the Alistar, which of course 2 of the better ways to defend the Smolder in the bot side. Rumble is the last ban against Shanji, so Photic can breathe a sigh of relief that he didn't have a 5th ban from RNG targeted towards him, but still needs to figure out what they want to play in the bot side, because of course Varus has gone from their end. There's not that many top-end AD carries available. Maybe the Zeri?
Zeri's been a scaling answer. You can, so for instance, I actually think that Twitch is a pretty fun answer too, as well, in terms of an assassination.
One, yeah.
Well, he didn't do it into the Smolder, but he did it into another different kind of set of champions as well, but we've seen that champion hovering around there and about. So, RNG, really it has been Breathe who has been the one shining light of this roster. He has himself a counter pick towards topside to potentially take over the game. NIP removed some of the choice supports from Smolder, but they do not remove the Tahm Kench, can be someone that is very hard to dive. Also very good, of course, against the Vi as well. The Vi, the Nautilus, they can put down these point-and-click ultimates. Tahm Kench can bail you out of that plays fairly easily alongside that. But Breathe, does he go towards something like that? Jace, does he go towards that kind of top lane pressure? Indeed they do. So RNG, they are looking to 100% put LWX and Ming on the weak side of the map, have them scale up, protect them from a dive here and there, but importantly, give as much space to Breathe to just brutalize the 1v1 and try and destroy that Renekton. Photic actually going back towards one of his best champions in the Jinx. So that Jinx, long-range scaling answer. That's been another answer which players like Assume and Rare Adam has started to pick out recently. And now it really feels like with the Jinx ult flying forward with the rest of the team, RNG, if it's not this Xin Zhao that's tanking the first bit of the combo, RNG are going to explode.
And Ming's going to have their work cut out for them a little bit in terms of who to save. Likely, let's be real, LWX, but Ming has defaulted towards the Tahm Kench, even when it's not been paired alongside things like the Senna. It has been kind of a bit of a comfort pick for him, especially when he's been having a pretty rough split himself, been struggling on things like the Nautilus to be safe on some of the engagements. The Alistar, on the other hand, has been pretty good, and of course, they are still just about in with the chance of making playoffs, just about in that fate of making the upper ends of the table if they just win every series in a row, basically. So they don't get to make any errors anymore.
And the other thing is as well, RNG, even if they went 6-0, we mentioned this a little earlier in the day because we were ruminating on it, even if they went lossless in all of their remaining series, the last 3 remaining, they could only get to, I believe, -4 in individual game score. That's not great. A lot of other teams are sitting above that right now. It'd be very, very hard for RNG to overcome that, even if they did win every single game. It means that it's pretty much unlikely for them to make it, even regardless of the result of this game, but still, they're trying to, again, keep up a little bit of that hope, live up to their namesake in that regards. It feels like this split has, in the way that LPL always comes down to it, feels like it is very, very cutthroat when it comes to those playoffs margins.
We've seen a miracle run or two across the history of League of Legends, Cloud9 all those years ago. Schalke have done it, of course. Hell, for those who follow the NLC, Ruddy did it with 1% remaining scenarios. Shout out to my boys over in the ERL system. Jaw attacked at the level 1, but just managed to get out just fine. Look in there from RNG, but it will mean that NIP get to look into the red side jungle, maybe to put a division down.
If you're ever wondering why these topside brush camps at level 1 happen, it's because it's ranged versus melee in the top lane matchup, and you want to just get yourself either for the Jace, as we see Breathe here, that extra ward which allows you to kind of dip in and out of the brush. The way that melee champions can outplay the range champions by sitting in a brush, and the range champions face check into them, and of course you can't auto attack into them when of course they're in that brush too. And of course the other way around, getting a ward to stop the range champion from kind of dipping in and out of minion aggro too, very, very important. So that's what RNG are looking for. However, NIP get themselves a ward into enemy Raptors, and that's going to be traded for Tanyuan as well. So both junglers going to have some knowledge of the enemy team start.
Yeah, I keep trying to stay off vision, but they probably have an idea that this is happening regardless. No, just about off vision. Nah, the jungle pet may have just shown if people were looking over there, but it won't have popped onto the screen nonetheless. So perhaps an unknown start. We'll keep our eyes on that all the while. LWX and Ming did help out Xin Zhao on the red buff. Juan Photic begin the initial trades.
And again, the Jinx and the Nautilus can be pretty strong in laning phase, especially with Lethal Tempo on the Jinx. Remember, folks, that also with the regards to the reset comps, of course, you've got Ahri Viego, very powerful. Jinx, one of the big changes in the last year is that now Jinx gets stacks of her passive, which means if you get one reset, then another one, it stacks twice, and it is very, very potent. So if you get even to the point where you get a tower being killed, which also triggers the get excited as well, that can potentially lead into multiple beyond that point. So, watch out for that one. RNG cannot easily give up that first kill. Can potentially go into a full domino effect.
Very difficult to manage. We'll keep our eyes on that. Of course, it does seem that Breathe has got the early shove on the top side. Hook lands for Jaw on the other. The jungler's pathing in opposite direction means that we're going to probably see perhaps a little bit of a split here. Maybe some early pressure onto LWX and Ming should Aoki be feeling particularly feisty. He often is, in fairness. So see what the decision is there as Rookie and Tanyuan just continue to trade out in the mid lane. The Empowered W does come on through, so the renewal will give Tanyuan a bit of the healing back.
Power W is so nasty if you get both sides of it because of the healing which comes with it. Interesting, actually going to the dematerializers on that as well. Way early topside dive.
Did wonder with the stack wave whether this might be an option where you can make this happen with Breathe. Of course, Shanji has flash, and of course, as a Renekton, just use the Q. So won't have the ability to heal.
No
Needs to play
rage.
this one out right. There is no rage. Very difficult to find the angles. Managing the tower aggro well enough right now. Wei will go on forward, gets a lot of damage. Shanji tries to get a stun, and Wei flashes out to safety. Nothing for the Renekton to do.
If that stun was just a little longer, maybe another tower shot could have come through, but not to be the case. Shanji doesn't blow his flash, does give over the first blood, however, to Breathe on the Jace, and feels like top lane Jace is coming back a little bit into the LPL. I think it's been a bit more of an LCK specialty of recent weeks anyway. It feels like players like Breathe, I think Ala as well for EDG, doing a decent amount of work on that champion too. The problem is, you die, it feels like the Jace, every death in a Jace lane means double. Problem is though, if he stays ahead of the game, it is really hard to fight against him, to actually force those deaths. Breathe, I think actually hitting Shanji closest to the tower range allows his jungler to survive with that flash out later.
Yeah, very dangerous to manage, of course. Early Caulfield's Warhammer for the Jace, who is kind of had some interesting options with the build pass. I think Opportunity's been the one that people have been really pushing of late. I know a lot of the Korean one-tricks have been looking for that one. That has kind of been the flavor of the month in the top side, so we'll see whether that does become an option.
It basically comes up every time you're using Empowered Shock Blast, because it's every 8 seconds out of combat champions. Vote-Sick flashes away, but Draw actually does the hard work and cancels the knock-up. I think tight timing on that, very, very close. Ming was one of the best Tahm Kench players of all time. It's had a lot of iterations changed for it, but still getting some lane pressure. Always dangerous when Smolder gets himself some pressure in lane, especially LWX, who's looked very good on this champion. The thing about LWX as a player is that I don't think he's had a great year so far. However, when games don't matter, this guy somehow just awakens. Last year on FPX as well, they ended up beating in spring. Reminder, EDG right now in a pretty bad state. Last year in spring, they were the best team for regular season. Fantastic for most of regular season, not towards the end of it. But FPX beat them in the height of their power after they'd already been mathematically eliminated from playoffs because LWX just turned on the afterburners and left away with it. Now, RNG technically not quite eliminated just yet. Again, we keep saying that it's very difficult for them to make it through, but still, LWX on this Smolder has been a real potent force.
A menace to be sure. Wei just cleared out those initial grubs. Rookie, not going to be any threat here as Aki and Jo will roam up the river and clear out some vision around the mid lane and then link up with their mid lane and start up the dragon on the other side of the map.
Is it going to be a full finish? Feels like it is. Bot lane reset from LWX and Ming coming in. They can fight okay in a 2v2. Can't really contest dragons, though. That bot lane is not one of the best early skirmishing ones in the game. You typically want to wait for a lot longer into the game. For actually either of these champions to have a lot of value. Tahm Kench can be very good in center lanes because you get stuff like the Balmy Cinder early, so you don't do that from a support Tahm Kench. And because you have these lanes as well, because early into the split, we saw a lot of kill pressure bot lanes, and we still see them, right? It's just that right now we actually do have the Smolder and the Senna, and sometimes stuff like the Kai'Sa coming through, which need a couple of items and levels to really start fighting. It allows some different top side of the mites as well, as Aki doesn't have Smite just yet. Gets it now.
Does get the... the Gromp, the Scuttle Crab is what it was. I wonder whether they might look for a little bit more, but I think it would have been a bit bold, especially with Joe not around to take anything more than that. So back away. Scuttle Crab secured, and instead Wei might look to throw down a few more wards in the enemy red side jungle. Got a nice little ward line there between a couple entrances into the jungle. And Shanji continually kept under this turret, really struggling here as the Jace has just used that early advantage and really leveraged it.
Wei's up top side as well. Shanji, level 6, level 6. He does have Aki coming up, who doesn't have the ult himself. He's just trying to make sure he can trade in a 1v1 before the 1v2 becomes a threat. Aki's here now.
Now Wei goes back forwards with audacious shots, but Aki's here and just eviscerates him. Wei just a little bit too greedy.
That is a clean Q flash right on the edge of range. Wei didn't have the flash from the earlier dive. Shanji and Aki comboing up again.
LWX hit. Now there's so much damage on LWX who just gets. They get the kill, and now Photic, who is very excited. Ming forced to flash away. He's got the thick skin still available, so shouldn't fall, but needs to be very careful. Wait for the zap. They've timed it so well, and Photic picks up a double.
Oh, Photic on the Jinx is a champion we've seen pretty much exclusively into the Smolder because it allows you to have 2v2 pressure, scaling pressure to... Maybe you don't outscale a Smolder, but you're definitely scary in its own right. Now 2 kills onto the crit carrier in the bot lane. NIP will take that one, absolutely.
Of course, when you've already got the Ahri, the Vi, the Nautilus, your ability to lock someone down to get the initial proc of the passive on the Jinx, it's oh so critical. It's easy to manage, and suddenly your ability to run down the fleeing members of an opposing team gets that bit easier. We'll have a look at the replay. We'll start with the topside fight.
So, fun fact, folks. Shanji has played every single game of his hundreds of games in the LPL with Aki on his team. I think that both of these players have had some pretty awkward moments this year. This one, though, really well played from Shanji. Good communication by Aki to say, hey, I will be topside in time for this play. Gets himself that Q flash in on the bot side as well. LWX just walks up completely too far. I mean... LWX has not had a great year, folks. He has scaled well on the Smolder, but in plenty of games, he has been in pretty unforgivable positions as an AD carry. See right here, draw, hang on the edge of tower range, waits for the dredge line. Photic cleans that one up as well. Well played between the duo cube.
Shanji about to get dived. There's another wave to work with. He slices, he dices. He's got himself a W. He does not have a Dominus quite yet. Gets a big stun onto Breathe, and it's Wei who's tanking the turret. Shanji just about surviving for now. Now pops the Dominus. Rookie's coming on up, and Wei and Breathe have gone very deep for this one indeed. The rocket just wide. Champagne Supernova not quite popping in the sky as Breathe. Acceleration gate, keeping him safe for now. Wei still needs to be afraid. Remember, there's no flash on this. Jin's out for now. The charm lands. In comes the Orb of Deception. The reset comes flying on through. It's a couple stacks on the Dark Seal. Tang Yuan is here. Flying another auto. Gets it. Rookie gets another reset on the ultimate. Tang Yuan now in a dangerous position. The charm lands. And Rookie will be able to back out to safety, you imagine. Gets under tower. I don't think Tang Yuan can get anything more. Towards the bot side we go. Cease, desist. Smolder's mother is in, but there's nothing to be done in the face of Fury, courtesy of the long arm of Vi's law-abiding gloves.
NIP explode the map in a way they have struggled to in 2024. They've slowed down a lot of the time when it comes to early game and mid game. They've waited until they get item breakpoints and just hope that they can get into a solid mid game. Not the same in this one. Rookie, as you said, picks up the Dark Seal, immediately 2 kills. I love the way he plays out this topside fight with the patience to it. 2 kills on the board for him, 3 kills for Photic as well. In the topside at RNG, don't get what they were looking for. Yes, they have 2 kills on Breathe, which is a consolation, I suppose, but NIP, huge advantage for them, even though RNG will pick up a couple of grubs and get themselves likely towards 6 there. NIP with the gold in hand, I think they're very happy with how this game is going.
Yeah, very happy indeed, of course. It is still a pretty big benefit to Breathe, who has had pretty unremittent pressure in that top side, continuing to shove in Shanji's the furthest that Paul Crocodile's managed to shove the wave out in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Aki will be able to deny the 6 grub buffs. I think Wei just says, look, they take too long to kill. I've used my basic abilities, and I'm not sure whether he had Smite at that time as well. It might have just come up. Look at the patience in which Rookie plays this with. He's got his charm all this time. He knows that, look, it's not going to be about the second cooldown of charm, it's about the first one. So he just keeps holding on to it, keeps using his auto attacks, forces Wei against the wall and says, look, you have to go sit yourself in a close range to me. Fantastic patience. I think a lot of Ahri players in Pro, as an Ahri player myself, I really criticize them for just throwing out the charm. Sometimes it is much more threatening to hold on to it until it is that guaranteed kill. She does just fine there. And in the bot side as well, as soon as everyone shows up top lane, it allows a 3v2 in bot side, even more gold to Photic and draw.
Of course, Ming not quite the level 6. There was no Devourer available, so poor old LWX doesn't really have much to say about that chain of CC. Ultimate bought him a little bit of HP.
Another dive.
Back again. This is what, the 4th dive we've seen? Shanji just goes forward, has the Dominus, gets a big stun, and this time he survives. He's done a fairly good job after the early one of surviving these.
At this point, just buy hex plates, you have more ultimates, dude. Like, this guy sat there was like, well, I need myself another Dominus. Here I go again.
He's on my own, literally.
See, the thing is, though, Here I Go Again on My Own is a song by Whitesnake. Yeah. Now, a crocodile is not a snake, Sam. I hate to tell you this. Maybe that would work
it's a
for
snake with legs.
That is just not... that is just not true at all.
I don't think I'm wrong. I think if you talk to a biologist, they'll agree with me.
Well, I think this biologist, we might need to see more like a mortician instead, because it might once again be a dead crocodile on the top side. I love how Rookie does this, by the way. I think that Rookie on teams he's on has been a second jungler, and look what he can do here. Charm immediately in.
And the Crescent Guard is even popped to no avail. That is a very swift circus. Turns out Rookie was the ringmaster all along.
Perfect stuff. Puts down the control ward to make sure that there is no way for Wei to get increased or at least advanced warning. Dashes into the melee range, so the Crescent Guard wouldn't have been able to kind of save him anyway. 6 Dark Seal stacks. Rookie, great Ahri game so far on a champion, which I often say players need to accelerate the game on. This is a champion that needs to snowball, and what that means is that he can then start bailing out the top side of the map in which Breathe really wants to start accelerating in himself.
Of course, it's coming at a slight personal cost. You can see Tang Yuan's got a couple waves over him as it stands. But frankly, as the Ahri, you're very happy to have saved your top side for some more flies, picked up a number of kills and got those Dark Seal stacks. It's a worthy trade, I think, as long as it doesn't continue to bleed in that CS lead.
Yeah, you know, NIP, they've had a very difficult split after their early start. And funnily enough, I've seen Whitesnake before.
Same.
Yeah, we've seen them. And funnily enough, they were doing a dual headline act with Journey.
Yeah.
So NIP, just to combo that together, they didn't stop believing. They are now going towards a very dominant early game here. And it feels like now, with the gold in the right places, where NIP normally start to fall off in regards to playmaking, this team composition has it in spades. And I'm really happy now that they're, again, lane allocating in a way that Jace can't really get an extended laning phase to continue getting value.
Rip to Rookie, couldn't get the last order to get that last play. It's only 2 he gains in the top side. I'm a bit upset for him. Does just time out. Herald started for NIP. RNG somewhat around. You can see Tangyuan and Ming potentially available to come and contest.
Rookie at level 11 with the Darksteel stacked up, and then the Malignance as well. Very, very strong. He goes up towards top side, immediately wave clears. And though the Jace is pushing on bot side, I mean, Shanji has ult again. He's got a Tiamat as well for wave clear, by the way, which I actually think is quite intelligent here.
Yeah.
But he's saying, like, I just need to instantly clear wave clears and potentially have the instant burst damage. It's not necessarily about the extended trades in terms of what you can do to threaten the Jace there. There's a big roam coming bot side, though.
Oh boy, and he's got the steel cards. Over comes Jaw. I just don't know whether it'll be enough. Goes to clear the wave. He's got the Dominus running. Slices and dices away. That final cannon minion falls. They get a Grub that comes along and a Soul Flare that comes over. But that's 4 members going to say hello to a Renekton as Rookie gets top lane turret and a Herald is summoned in mid.
Well, I mean, he pops the ult, cues the bot lane wave, and then has the Tiamat as well. Instant wave clear, and suddenly the dive from RNG is not possible because of the itemization from Shanji. Goes for the Stridebreaker first, actually, which is good versus the Jace in some matchups. It also means that potentially you're slowed as you're chasing under turret. I have seen this build a couple of times. I've seen people also complain about the Stridebreaker build. But in terms of the item being changed to a Tiamat item, makes a lot of sense now in regards to just surviving this dive. And all the same, now Rookie gets a lot of gold on the other side of the map with that cross map, as we were saying. Very, very happy with that. And IP, I think they're good. Again, continuing to be quite happy with how this early game goes.
Breathe actually at 2/3 HP. Needs to be a bit afraid of Rookie potentially looking for the all-in. Does get the Foxfire speed up and just saw he was wondering whether there might be an angle to force the ultimate here.
So, the thing with Ahri, which is really annoying, is that if you don't have vision of an enemy when you're midway through your jump, the ult will actually not tag damage onto them. So if you just dip into a bush, you can actually end up making a play where you have a trinket. You dash, drop a trinket mid-flight, and it means that your ult will target. Not many people know about that one, so we'll see if Rookie goes towards that at some point. But he has the sweepers, we can't do that in this game, but still. Breathe, using the bushes to make sure that no easy combo came through.
RNG do claim 2 turrets, actually with 3 members strong and a lot of grubs. They should be able to really force his wave as Shanji does their best to clear the wave. With the Tiamat active, does actually help out clear a lot of that, so it should be fine. Jura now here. Shanji has got himself the Dominus again.
Here comes
sped
Aki.
up. Here comes Aki, though. You're absolutely right. The hook comes on through. Is flashed away from Tangyuan. The teleport now coming on through. Big damage on Tangyuan, who does not have the flash remaining. The charm comes on through. Dead. Another kill coming on over as Rookie with another charge of the Spirit Rush can begin to continue hunting for more. Wei is behind everybody, but they're trying to target the person with the Devour, and it is used. Final potential option for some more. The Zap Slow comes on through. Photic is here, and the light is blinding. Photon, perhaps, over in the LEC, living up to that one as Wei goes down. Double kill to Photic. NIP make it look easy.
They make it look easier now with a 5-kill Jinx. NIP are really, really in a comfortable spot. You can see that the cross map from RNG is to go towards the Dragon, which goes down before we can get ourselves a Wild Turtle Jinx Rocket Steel on the other side. NIP, they did a really good job of taking down taking down this top lane out of turret and then playing around the extended lane. As soon as this play starts, Shanji kind of going forward, you can just see that RNG, there is no way they're winning this play. You don't have the Jace who wants to teleport into a play like this. He would be teleporting into death, effectively, so it is just the extended play. And once again, Aki, Rookie, Dwarf, this trio, which was first picked out from NIP, it needed to be big playmaking opportunity, kind of just acceleration snowball across the map. They've done exactly that, and RNG, they have really struggled to stop them from getting plays on the board.
Photic, a player who has oscillated between being very bright indeed and then absolutely exceptional across his career. But when Rookie and him duoed up for the first time over on V5 and the start of that split looked really exceptional before they all fell apart. This time around, 5-0 on the Jinx. Rookie 4-0-2. Darksteel fully stacked after that last fight.
Yep.
Second item complete. Very strong carries indeed at this point.
And actually, if Rookie gets towards just the Medjay's upgrade, the extra 10% movement speed from the Medjay's, we already talked about the patience you need to sometimes just not fire out the first charm, but actually and then wait for a second charm to come through. It's just you wait until the first charm is a definite kill. Having the move speed differential, so you are faster than your opponents, is so dangerous with that, because it means that a max range charm, but actually because you walk up a little bit more, becomes a mid-range charm instead. We'll see if he goes towards that one. We saw APA in the LCS play that for Team Liquid, the Lich Bane Magi's build, which means you get a permanent 18% movement speed.
It's silly, actually.
It's so straight, it's so silly. You get a load of cooldown reduction. It's the best damage and slot as well for a lot of it too. It's really threatening, so we'll see if LPL picks that one up in a little bit. As it stands, it's the Horizon Focus and the Malignance. Very good early game stats either way.
And of course, you can, with the fact you've got so long range engage from everyone else, it's pretty easy to link up with everyone with that combo of items as it stands. And you can see Wei being forced off his own red buff. No way he's getting over to this. Of course, RNG did break the Drake stacking with the play that happened topside, but that was really all that was written home about. Is we now look to recall under that tier 2 as Rookie shoves that one in. Shanji does the same in the mid lane, and RNG, they're shoved for a couple towers now. Not really a possibility anymore.
NIP. When's the next play coming through? They're angling for it. Again, the question I have for the Ninjas in Pajamas is not if they can get ahead in the game. They've done that sometimes. There really has been. What happens when the first plan starts to stall out? Where does your inspiration come from? With so much engaged, they've done very well to break up in this map. Get themselves an easy bot lane in a turret. Breathe is trying to cross map on the top side of the map. He's quite strong, actually, this chase. Yeah. NIP, they'll need to be careful of not allowing him good damage at some other points. Of course, with Baron only just starts spawning, rather. NIP didn't really have that option before. They can do that potentially now. What's that Baron damage like? Very good with Jinx, thinking about it. Jinx, one of the better Baron takers. Just very, very good at just sitting there with a minigun. So, RNG, I want to be very careful to not let too much vision control go down on that top side.
Rookie, how aggressive are you feeling? You've got Photic here as well. That's a lot of damage. They could really punish this. Over the wall they go. Trying to get something. Entanglement speeds themselves out. Gets the slow onto Photic. There comes the root as well. I just don't think it'll be enough. There's just nothing to be done. Another kill comes across. A 6th for Photic, who picks that one up. There's nothing on the map that can be traded.
Well, RNG, they're not in position to get a Baron start themselves. That's one of the reasons why NIP were looking towards this. And Shanji, now a level up on Breathe, incredibly so, considering how much... I mean, he might have dropped a lot of XP because Wei was in his lane so much. That is actually maybe one of the issues with that. But yeah, I could definitely see NIP using Rookie and Photic to keep forcing plays, and the Magi's is in now for Rookie. It is the right call. We already talked about how that move speed differential, very, very important. And it's not going to get any easier for RNG now, as Rookie can potentially snowball off into the distance.
It feels like it's one of those Ahri games from Rookie. There was that one bush that was behind the red buff and the dragon pit, kind of one in that little entrance, which he used to haunt as the Ahri and would prove the absolute death of anybody walked by it. It became the Rookie Ahri bush for much of last year. This time around he's not required it. He's just been making the plays all himself. Ming caught out by himself, trying to do a bit of a warding mission, overcomes RNG, but they don't want to come and get involved with this. Breathe throws out a 21 gun salute with the shot blast from the other side of a wall, but that's all they have to say about it. And now with the man advantage, it's time for Baron.
Yeah, Rookie stood on a ward right now. He doesn't have something like a stopwatch. There is a chance things are going a little awkward, but the lockdown from RNG is not fantastic to stop Rookie from getting value. Charm lands, there's the combo.
Boy, that's so much DPS. Wei surviving for now. The Crescent Guard buys some time, but not enough. Now the getting excited begins. How much excitement is available? Rookie gets him on the wrong end of the tube, but flash on forward to the charm regardless. They get the kills, they get the HP resets, and they will back away with a few more stacks in the book.
Yeah, Rookie's lucky to make it out of that one, let's be honest. He eats a huge Mantra Q at the end of that, which potentially could have got him killed, but turns out RNG is in NIP's favor this time. Went out on the luck of the draw. NIP, though they don't get the Baron, they get themselves a couple of kills, which will put RNG even further back onto the map. And it feels like NIP, again, just continuing to snowball. This is good. Again, remember that from NIP. The big question was, well, can they start accelerating the game in the time that they needed to? The answer for a lot of this back half of the split has been no. This time, though, really good play of just getting vision control around Baron, using their point of power, getting the resets, and just immediately punishing RNG for stepping into where they can. At the end of this, we see that Rookie, yeah, lucky to live, but gets out.
Yeah, uses the passive of Ahri very well, which I know is partly why you really rate the Magi's, because you can play with your HP like a resource.
So, obviously, he gets a couple of resets before this. The thing about Ahri is you have an AP scaling heal when you kill either 9 minions. It used to be 9 spell hits, and then your next spell would heal you more on that, but now it's 9 minion kills. Or, of course, champion kills and assists, too. That scales off of AP. The more AP you have, the more safety you have in these big team fights, too. So, to have the Magi stacking up And of course the other 2 items as well, means that those heals keep you ticking over that much longer. Also means that particularly late game, Crypt Bloom plus Ahri heal is absolutely disgusting. You give up 1 kill and suddenly the Ahri, even if you burst her in return, comes back at full HP and keeps resetting on you. It's very, very strong, and I think Rookie is having one of his good Ahri games. 2023, played an awful lot of it. I think particularly with Aki on the Vi, which he's made a name for, and Joao comboing up with them very nicely too. NIP looking very, very confident in that playmaking we have been tasking of them to do well.
Yeah, exactly. You can see NLR in inventory as well to max out some of that AP. The Infinity Edge in from Photic. You've got 2 items on Shanji and Aki as well. And Shanji, credit over to him, managed the early pressure exceptionally well. Was really under the cosh of Wei and Breathe. And Breathe played a good Jace game, all things said and done.
Yeah.
He really has been the bright spark. It's just not enough.
The game's not been about him. NIP have moved away from the Jace, and they've wave cleared away from him, so he can't necessarily get himself big dives. Once again, NIP vision control. Once again, RNG playing into huge amounts of ultimates and damage. Wei walking up, and caught again.
There's a fair amount of damage. Charms comes on through. Wei knocked up into the air and just dead to rights. The Crescent Guard is broken. Instead, it's Rookie with 3 stacks of the Spirit Rush, waiting for an angle to go more. Shanji, fully stacked Fury, can look for a bit more, gets the charm, gets another reset, gets a back away, and then the resets can begin once more. On the other side, the cease and desist makes Tang Yuan an afterthought as NIP turn back towards the Baron.
That's just a sour tang in the mouth now for RNG, as their mid laner cannot do anything around this objective. It really has been about whether RNG can stop NIP rather, from getting vision control, from using that combo and punishing them on that first entrance to the fight, and they haven't been able to. Wei, the only person it feels like who can potentially deal with this combo with his ultimate, has just been killed in the duration of that ultimate. That's how poor this game is going for it. Wei trying to walk up and be that frontline he needs to be, but it's just not possible. He's half HP before he pops the pressing guard, and enough melee members can get into the Thunderdome to make it even harder. Rookie uses the last bit of his duration of his ult to go forwards for a second charm as well. Combos up, the extra resets, and this is going to be the Baron afterwards. NIP feels like they're on game, set, and match points.
I think he might not be living up to his namesake much longer. There's not enough left in the tank. Certainly not in the lungs. Donated beautifully over to Photic. That's what we call team play.
That's the one. Rookie denied himself the full stacks on the Meadows with 24. Means that this item's got near enough 200 AP now. Once you get that, well, once you get to death cap, because of the ratios going up from 35% bonus on the AP from that to 40%, I believe you get 195 AP out of a single item out of that max stack Medjai's. RNG, they have not really been able to kind of play to the beat of their own jump for the grand majority of this. Rookie, no ult right now. LWX, remember, he's still scaling up. It just feels like it's very hard for him to actually stand and fight. Whereas in other games, we'd say, oh, you know, it's getting towards the execute threshold. Well, in fact, he will have the execute threshold now, and then the 3 items for the Smolder. I don't know if he'll ever be able to stand and fight.
Rookie takes a bit of damage, but Wei forced immediately to flash ult to survive, and Wei no longer able to stand and defend this turret, especially with Baron minions there. Rookie goes forward again, forces another flash off Ming Zhuo, maybe in a dangerous position. Remember, the execute threshold now in for LWX. Could still be a little bit threatening this dragon at 2.5 items. Yes, it's not really been about LWX this game. It's a Smolder. It can always become about a Smolder.
Rookie goes back, picks up the death cap. Next time he jumps forward, I think that difference between Wei living and dying will be much more slim. And NIP again, I really like how they're just looking for just the single pick, single instant kill rolling forwards. RNG, it is all about whether Wei can buy enough time for Smolder to do something now. The thing is, Wei is sat here in 0-6. Sadly, that's kind of expected. I don't even think Wei is playing that poorly. The problem is, as we might see an assassination attempt on bot side, how do you play around your Crescent Guard when you're, you know, at 3rd HP before it even goes towards it? You can't buy enough time for your backline now.
No, exactly that. And again, this is a symptom, not the cause, in many, many ways. And the problem is as well, like, as you've been saying, like, I'm looking at a 4-item Ahri versus a 1 and change item Xin Zhao. You never win that fight. You never survive that. They're going to try and shove topside, but once again, Shanji's winning the 1v2 on the other side and getting breathed who just dies. And then they pick up the inhibitors elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a clean 1v1 on top side. See that LWX tries to get some damage down here as NIP are trapped against the wall, but Photic with the resets and ghosts gets out completely fine. So NIP Tower in mid lane, kill in top lane, Rookie going in.
Gets another charm, gets to be throwing out more of that damage to the backside of Dredge line. Lands, Rookie into the backside. LWX low, devoured, but pulled straight out. There's nowhere to run. The Dragons rocketed down. Modern technology takes out the fantasy beast. NIP with a gorgeous snowball win game 1.
It is clean, it is fast, and RNG are left in the dust. 1-0 to the Ninjas in Pajamas in one of their cleanest games we've seen this split. They've been a team which we've had some worries about in terms of slowing down in mid and late game, stalling out, and not being able to close things in their favor. This one, though, was anything but that. And RNG, if they lose a single extra game in this series, they will be out of playoffs, and we'll have at that point two of the most historic organizations in LPL history in Edward Gaming and Royal Never Give Up not making playoffs for a very rare occasion. I don't think there's ever been a case ever where both have missed playoffs ever.
Yeah, and this is a difficult one because RNG, they tried some stuff early. They were going to say, look, we are going to have the Smolder and Tahm Turtle survive, but then what we're going to do is we're going to turn up top. And we're going to get this Jason to a point of absolute terror. So you have to come and manage that. And it gives more time for the Smolder to scale. And we've seen that work in the LPL. Where you have that additional pressure point topside to give Smolder space to scale. That didn't really work out. Shanji actually survived a lot of the dives. Rookie's timely roams top to punish Wei in particular around things like the prod counts and stuff. Really broke that strategy. And RMG then kind of got snowballed on super hard. Because the Ahri and Jinx threat range was nightmarish to manage.
We're going to leave it there as a chat comment makes me laugh as well. You should be a professional caster, bro. I am. I cast for LPL. We are. You may have seen me on LEC or LPL.
Hi.
Both of us there. EMEA Masters, NLC. We are. I mean, yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. It makes me laugh.
We're in the right profession now.
Yeah, that was a really good game from Rookie. The thing is, most professional Aries really struggle to aggressively make plays in the same way that Rookie did in this game. I think that I think a lot of people pick Ahri because they're safe in laning phase, and this is kind of hard to shut them out of the game. Rookie here kind of showed what you can do with this champion when you actually snowball. This is the kind of game which I want to see more out of pro players. You can look at this game, it's like, oh, it's so easy or whatever. He makes it look easy because he's choosing the right angles. When an Ahri is doing well, it's not always obvious what they're doing well to make those plays work in their favor. The vision control was great, the roam timers are great, using the right timers on waves, and then of course holding the charm for the instant kill. And once you get a couple of early plays, it means you snowball into a point where then it is just unplayable. I mean, like at this point, like, I mean, this was one of the early ones, actually. Again, the patience in this play is what makes it, actually. I mean, like, he doesn't have to throw the charm early. Like, he throws it... He waits until Wei puts himself into a position where he's trying to dodge in multiple directions. Because you can't be stood against a wall in a direction where you've cut off half your escape options. This was just really good patience from Rookie. And once you give over early kills to an Ahri, like, you should be able to snowball. And he did really well. So, credit to Rookie. One of the better Ahri games I've seen this year.
Done very well. He played super well.